Hey everybody, happy Monday and happy last full day of school for most of you. Just wanted to let you know why I'm not in class today. The reason why is because I am actually a AP grader, which means AP World History. They have a number of teachers, professors, and such who grade the exams, and I was chosen to do that this year, which is actually a pretty big honor. So it's kind of cool. They picked me, so I don't know why. But let's now look at our assignments for today. So in your groups, why don't we start off with you guys just taking out your question 3 and reviewing it with each other, going over the different answers you have and everything. And our awesome teacher who is with us for today, if you just walk around the room, make sure everybody's working and doing the great job that they always do, that would be wonderful. So why don't we take about 5 to 6 minutes and take out your question number 3 on your study guide. Actually take it out, talk to each other about it, and see what you can come up with, any new ideas, or just say the ideas out loud, because that's a really good way of studying for this test. All right, and with that, let's get into question number 4 for our final. So let's look at it. Just remember, tomorrow, 10:15 is when this test starts. You have 10:15 to 12:15. And I'll remind you one more time, please pre-write these paragraphs. It's the best way to study. You already know what they're going to be about. Pre-write them because you only get 1 hour to take this test. The graphic organizers will be there. You do not have to use them. You can leave them blank if you want, or you can use them. But you have an hour to do the short answer questions, all 4 of them, and 1 hour to do the multiple choice. Well, let's get into question 4 now. Our historical context. Throughout history, political systems were put in place as a way to govern people united by a shared culture, religion, or geographic area. Any political system has a significant impact on the people it governs. So let's do step number 1 here. You have all these different kinds of governments. So why don't you right now divide and conquer, take your phones out, and look up exactly what these governments mean. And why don't I give you about some time to do that? And let's look at what you can do for our next step as well. So you're going to look up these different types of governments. Some of them you might know. Many of them have been mentioned throughout the year. And then when you get here where it says type of government and civilization that used it, find one civilization that used one of these forms of government. Like you could say the Mongols used blank kind of government. Or you can say, what other civilizations we talked about? The Han Dynasty in China used this form of government. The Ghana Empire used this form of government. So what you'll do is you'll say what type of government it used, and you'll say what was positive and negative about it. So if I'm looking at like a topic sentence, I might say blank civilization used blank type of government. And it had some positives and negatives. Was that really loud when I was typing? It usually is. Sorry about that. Let me make sure I spelled that right. Cool. And then what I have to put here is I have to find out a civilization we studied about, what type of government used, and I have to name some positives and negatives. And like I said, we're looking for evidence. We're looking for about 3 solid details per question. 3 solid details per question. That means I could put 2 positives and 1 negative. I might do 2 and 2, 2 positives, 2 negatives, just in case I kind of mess one up so I can get the full points. This is your claim. So I claim that's similar to this. It can be pretty simple. It's a test, not a paper. You can have a pretty simple claim. And then 1 to 2 positives, 1 to 2 negatives of that type of government and that civilization is what you need to do. So let's do this. Why don't you guys get into your groups and take about a good 10 to 12 minutes to look these up and try to find a government that it used positives and negatives. In fact, probably more like 12 minutes, maybe 13 for our awesome teacher who's walking around. And I would say for our amazing teacher who's helping us out today, if students are doing a really good job, give them more time. If they start talking about other things, come back to the video and we'll move on to the next step a little sooner. All right, go ahead and get to work. All right, now that you've had a lot of time to brainstorm, go over these, look them up, pick your government, maybe you have positive or negative down, why don't you take a little more time on your own to add some information on your own to this? And for that, why don't we just take about 7 to 8 minutes again for our amazing teacher. If people are working really well quietly, give them more time. If people are struggling, maybe we can go back to our groups a little sooner, but do the best you can. Take about 7 to 8 minutes to continue to work on this on your own. All right, our last step, let's get back into our groups, compare and share and add anything that you have. And let's do this till the end of the class period today. Get as much down as you can. Again, recommendations are that you pre-write these paragraphs. You have them all set to go. 10:15, we'll be taking this test tomorrow. Will be graded, and it's worth 10% of your grade. Make sure your study guides get in. You get scores for engagement and daily participation for every session of the year, because this is a final review guide for turning this in. So make sure these get turned in on your test day before you take the test. Have these with you at 10:15 tomorrow. All right, awesome, teacher. Please let our students work until the end. Good job, everybody, and I will see you around the halls tomorrow. I might be in your room when you're taking the test. All right, see you later.